So today I want to talk about my second investment property that I ever owned and how much money I'm making from this property, how much I made from this property. So my second single family home I purchased in San Francisco, California. I bought it in 2019. I think it was May of 2019 for $1.1 million. It's a 5 bedroom, I think 2 bath, single family home. It was actually kind of a makeshift duplex that I started off house hacking. So the upper unit was a 3 bedroom, 1 bath, or 1.5 bath, excuse me, roughly 1,500 square foot. The second lower unit had its own private entrance in the back, and that one was a 2 bedroom, 1 bath with a little kitchenette. So kitchenette, difference between kitchen and kitchenette is a kitchenette doesn't have a stove, so it just had a sink and a refrigerator, right? So the tenants had to use an air fryer, or they could buy the plug-in stoves that you get at Costco, right? So my house hacked this. So I lived in the master bedroom, and I rented out the two other rooms, including utilities, for about $1,200 each. So I got $2,400 up there, and I rented out the lower unit to four college students near SF State, and they paid me about $700 each, so I was $2,800. So I was collecting roughly around $5,400 a month, and that was enough to, I think, cover my mortgage. And I think my all-in cost was close to $7,000. So let's just make it $7,000, and I was getting $5,400 in rent, so I was paying about $1,600 to live there. So that's when I lived there. And when I moved out of there to relocate to Southern California, which is where I'm currently at, I basically rented out the upper unit. So I rented out the upper unit to a Section 8 tenant who had a 3 bedroom voucher because it was a um, you know 3 bedroom unit. So typically Section 8 vouchers, it's going to be like a single mother typically. She has 3 kids. So because of that, she qualifies for 3 bedrooms. So basically, she had the master bedroom, and then the 3 kids would share the two other rooms. And that included utilities as well because it was a makeshift duplex. Utilities like electricity, water, gas weren't separate; they're together. So me as a landlord, I pay that, and I bake that into their rents. So I was getting $4,500 from Section 8, including utilities. What's nice about Section 8 is that they pay you on the first of every month. So Section 8, the Section 8 housing will pay a portion of it, and the tenant will pay a portion. So, for example, it's $4,500 a month. I think the tenant pays like $150, and then the Section 8 housing will pay the rest, right? And what's nice about Section 8 is it's public information, so you can literally Google search fair market rent for Section 8 in San Francisco County, and it'll break it down by county. So you can look it up, say for a 3 bedroom, this is how much you're going to get, to see like how much you can kind of charge. And typically they're around market rent or a little bit above market rent to incentivize you to do it. So basically, when you have a Section 8 tenant, the inspection needs to occur. So typically they'll submit a bunch of paperwork that you fill out, that you sign. They will approve the tenant. If the tenant's approved, at that point, they send an inspector out. They have to inspect it to make sure there's like smoke detectors, carbon monoxide, any issues there. And if they find stuff, you have to fix it within a certain amount of days, and they have to come back and reinspect it or just send proof. And once you're approved, they're there. At that point, you set up your direct deposit account. And what's kind of annoying about Section 8 is that it's government, right? So they take forever to do things. But it took them like 2 months to like set up all the paperwork and like the direct deposit despite the tenant living there. But what they do is they catch you up. So let's say they owed me 2 months worth of rent, which is $4,500 each. So they just give me $9,000 like for that month. So they'll catch you up, but like it's just kind of difficult if you're in a tough cash position. But if you have enough cash, then you can cover it, right? Because eventually Section 8 will pay you. And then every year they have like an annual inspection. So they'll come in, look at the property, and then once again, you need to fix anything, great. What I love about the annual inspection is that they kind of do it for me, so they can make sure the property is livable, is the tenant taking care of it, and at that point. So if you think that you can raise the rents, you want to Google search Section 8 fair market rents. If the rents are higher, you can raise your rents a little bit. If it's lower, then maybe don't say anything because you're getting more than what you should. And then what I did was I rented out the lower unit to a family as well. I didn't prefer renting out college students because college students are too transient. Those two couples, they typically will stay there for like the school time, and during summer they go home, right? So you're constantly finding new tenants. So I rented out to a family of like 3 or 4, and then I rented out for I think 2,900. So I was getting 4,500 for the top, 2,900 for the second. What is that? $7,300. And I think my all-in cost, I want to say, is what's that? 7,300, around $6,500. So basically, I'm cash flowing $800 a month on this property. So that's nice, right? So I've owned this since 2019. I bought for 1.1. It's probably today worth about 1.5, being conservative. So I made $400,000 of equity on this property. I mean, this property didn't appreciate as well because it's over 100 years old. But the land's obviously very valuable, being in San Francisco. So I made about $400,000 on equity, being conservative, and my monthly mortgage, I think it's around $6,000 a month, or no, sorry, 5,500. And for sake of numbers, I think roughly 2,000 goes to principal, and then the rest goes to interest, or a little bit less, maybe like, yeah, about 2,000. I'd say about 2,000 goes to principal, and then 2,500 goes to interest. And then, so if you do the math, I'm basically paying down $2,000 of principal a month times 12. That's 24,000. And I've owned this for about 5 years now. So 24,000 times 5, that's about 125K. Plus the $400,000 I made through equity. So I made about $525,000 on this property. And to be honest, I didn't do much. Once again, just like my first property, I just lived in it. I house hacked it, and then when I moved out, I just rent out the whole property. And my Section 8 tenant has been there for a long time. I love it. She's a great tenant. The downstairs tenant, they kind of average between 1.5 to 2 years, and typically if they are vacant, it takes me about maybe a month or two to rent it out. Keep in mind, I don't have a property manager on this one because California. If I had a property manager, I probably wouldn't be cash flowing or be breaking even. And then I just pretty much manage it with my dad. Like I said, that's why I want long tenants. And then if you kind of factor in, repairs and expense, maybe my cash flow goes from 800 to maybe, let's say, $700 a month, so for all that. So, once again, bought this property on MLS, not off market. They had a bunch of bad photos on the MLS. So I came in, and when I came in person, I saw that the property was like brand new renovated, right? Like new LVP flooring, new kitchen, new appliances, new carpet everywhere, new paint. For some reason, they didn't renovate the bathroom, but when I ended up renovating the bathroom myself, using a handyman that was a family friend, I think it cost me like maybe $2,000 because I was just paying for materials, and labor was really cheap. So yeah, I didn't do anything real special, to be honest, about this on MLS. And then I remember when I walked into the property, I saw it looked great. I made an offer at asking price. They took it, and then they had multiple offers after me that were a lot higher. So they were hoping that I would fall out of escrow. Ironically. So, once again, I'd say I got lucky. I just bought at a good time. My interest rate on the property, breaking down the numbers, I bought for 1.1 million. I put 10% down, which was 110K. I had no PMI in this property because I used US Bank, and my aunt referred me to someone amazing at US Bank. And then I had a 3.75% interest rate, which was amazing. And yeah, it's a nice property. Maybe down the road I might sell it and 1031 up into a apartment complex, or maybe sell it and dump it into paying off one of my single family homes for my primary residence. So like I said, real estate, it's a long-term game. You have to wait 10 to 15 years in order to get some benefit. If you look at all the big real estate YouTubers, they've been doing it for like 10 to 15 years. I'm at year 7, right? And I still work at W2. I am slowing down a little bit because I'm trying to stabilize my portfolio. And then, at this point, once you have 51 units, as I go through my progression, your quality of life doesn't necessarily improve, and you want to optimize on how to improve your quality of life, right? So for me right now, it's lowering my expenses. So I might need to maybe sell a single family home, take that equity, and then cover some of my expenses that I have. So once again, if you like this type of series, I want to talk about my 3rd single family home, my 4th single family home, and some of my apartment complexes, and do a video at the end summarizing the 51 unit real estate portfolio. So if you want to learn how to get a 51 unit real estate portfolio without partners while working full time, check out the link down below. I have my Making Multifamily Money mentorship program. I teach direct mail as well, and even if you're intimidated by your student loans and before going to real estate, then I also have a program for that as well. So check out the link down below. Reach out to me if you have any questions. If you want a discount code, happy to drop you one. Just reach out to me directly. My email is on my YouTube channel. But hopefully you found this valuable. If you like this type of content, let me know. Let me know if you have any questions. And please see you in the next one. Thank you so much.